we have already have discussed the introduction of digital image processing. So today we shall glance the discussion we had in the last class and then move further. In the last class we have seen what is image. So what was discussed is the pictorial representation of the objects surrounding us in a plain plain sheet is referred as a image. So since we are representing the picture of an object in a plain sheet, it is a two-dimensional signal. So mathematically we can say the image is defined as a two-dimensional function f of xy. F of xy is image. So in this, x and y are the spatial coordinates. And the amplitude of this function, that is the amplitude of f, is called, amplitude of f, the function, is called as intensity or gray level or color of the image at that point xy. So this is how we define the image. Next, we have discussed the types of images. The images are broadly classified as analog image and digital image. For human viewing purpose, for human visualization, we are going to have the representation of image in analog. Analog means it is continuously appearing, and for processing purpose, it is digitized in a binary form. So this image, which is the analog image, we have digitized in this manner. So we have broken this image as 4 by 5 pixels, 5 columns and 4 rows. So the pixels which are there, which are on the black, are represented as zeros. Zeros here, zeros here, and the pixels which are lying on the white area are represented as ones. So this is the technique of digitization. So the digitized image is useful for processing using digital computers. And as I have said, f of xy is image. And how f of xy is interpreted as analog image or digital image. In f of xy, if x, y and amplitude of f, if all these are continuous quantities, x, y, amplitude of f are continuous quantities, then the image is referred as analog. Similarly, how we define the digital image? The image f of xy is a digital image when x, y and the amplitude of f all are finite and discrete quantities. Then the image is referred as digital image. And this analog image, as I said, it is required for human viewing purpose. But for processing purpose, we want digital image. So even if it is digitized, we are going to display it as a continuous image or analog image finally. For final viewing purpose, again it is brought into an analog image form. And in this digital image, what is that we are going to have is the digital image consists of finite number of elements, dots, finite number of dots. Each of that element has got particular location and value. So we can put the matrix of dots on the analog image, and each dot is going to have particular location and value. And those dots, those elements are referred as image elements or picture elements or pixels or pels. The dots in the digital image are referred as pixels or pels in short. So finally, we are going to visualize the digital image as a matrix of small pixels. Small elements means pixels. And each pixel is represented by certain numerical value. In general, the pixel value is related to the value of that pixel is going to give us the information regarding the brightness, means intensity or color at that particular point of the image. And when the digital image is converted into analog image, we are going to have that convenient for viewing purpose. For displaying or for viewing purpose, the image is again brought into the analog image form. Now, so finally, what is the impact of digital image on our day-to-day life? So, in modern medical imaging, without digital images, it is just impossible. This is the impact of digital images. So, we are going to have image reconstruction using CT technology, MRI technology, SPECT, PET, etc. So, we can reconstruct the image using all these different technologies. And also, we can have reformatting in multi-view or multi-plane fashion. So this is reformatting possible, and it is going to give a wide dynamic range while image is acquired. So this is one more advantage in our modern medical imaging. And it is possible to process the acquired image. It is possible to change the contrast and other qualities, characteristics of the image. And it is having the advantage that storage and retrieval will be very fast. And it is possible for high quality image distribution, and also that distribution, that transmission is going to happen fast. Because of that only, right now we are going to have teleradiology. So MRI is being done at one place and immediately that is available to a doctor at some remote area. Some doctor sitting at some different country, he can view that MRI image. So that image distribution, it has become possible with the fastest and high quality fashion. And we can have controlled viewing also. We can have windowing, only small portion of the image can be focused, and we can zoom it. All these controlled viewing are possible using digital images. That was not possible using our analog image. And we can have image analysis. Analysis means we can have measurements of various parameters. We can have measurements, calculations of various parameters. So these are the impacts of our digital image. So this is what I said. Analog image is for human viewing purpose, and digital images are processing using the digital. They are needed for processing using the digital computers. So if we deal with image processing, we are going to classify 3 levels of image processing. First is low level image processing, mid level image processing, and high level image processing. So what is this low level image processing? In low level image processing, input is also image and output is also image. So the example of such image processing activities are reduction of noise, contrast enhancement, image sharpenings. These kind of image processing activities lie in the category of low level image processing, are considered as low level image processing activities like reduction of noise, image contrast enhancement, image sharpening. Okay. So now, to which we consider as mid-level processes. So in mid-level processes, inputs are image, but outputs are attributes or characters extracted from those images. Examples of such mid-level processes are segmentations. And the last category is high-level processing. High-level process is characterized by the fact that inputs are attributes and outputs are the images. And the image processing activity here are image recognition, image analysis are the examples of high-level image processing. So these are the 3 levels of image processing activities. Now, just we shall go back to see the historic impact or the origin of digital image processing when it got started. The first application of digital image was in newspaper industry. So, in newspaper industry, pictures were sent from London to New York through the cables which are laid under the sea with the submarine cables. Using submarine cables, pictures are being transmitted between London and New York. And this has reduced the time. Earlier it was taking more than a week. Now after transmitting through cable, it has taken less than 3 hours. So this was the first application, major application where the image processing activity got the application. And for doing this, specialized printing equipments are needed to code the pictures for transmitting it via cables. And then reconstruction of images are done at the other end, that is the receiving end. So this is what the origin, history of the image. And why we are getting interested in digital image processing. Our focus when we perform the processing of digital images is, the first objective is we want to improve the pictorial information for human viewing purpose. For human interpretation purpose, one of the major objective in processing is we want to make the improvement in pictorial information so that it can appear better. So for human viewing purpose, it should look better is the first objective. The second objective is we want machine perception, and when we want machine to handle the images, we need to store in the machine, we need to transmit from one end to another end. So it should consume less storage space, memory space, it should consume less bandwidth. So for doing all that, we process the images so that it should be compressed so that it can be stored in a less memory space. When transmitted, it should consume less bandwidth, and this is going to automate the machine perception. It is going to helpful for autonomous machine perception. So these are the 2 objectives of our digital image processing. Next, advantages of digital image processing and disadvantages. Whatever the advantages we do have of digital processing, the same holds good over here. You have the glance over these advantages and disadvantages of this digital image processing. We shall discuss this in the next class.